Hi everybody, thanks for tuning in to Stone Coyote Studios tutorial series again. Today we're going to be teaching you how to make an inventory. A very important thing that I've noticed a lot of tutorials make way too complicated. So, open up Unreal, click Games, blank, none of that really matters for a tutorial, but if it's going to be your main game, you probably want to put the maximum in ray tracing, I don't know. Inventory tutorial is CS. Create. Wait for it to load. Don't need this level. Let's make a new one. Inventory tutorial level. Alright. Open that up. Yeah, save it. Great. We're going to make a blueprint class. An actor to carry the inventory and have it send data. So let's call it a backpacker. Backpack actor. All right, we're going to need a UI to show the inventory. Widget blueprint, user widget, inventory menu UI. Let's also make a struct. Going to teach you how to do structures here. Inventory structure. Great. What else will we need? We'll need an interface. So right click, blueprints, blueprint interface. Let's go interact interface. Just like that. All right, open this up. I like to maximize my window. Go ahead and name the function. This is something you'll want to remember, so let's call it toot interaction. There we have it. That's all you really need to do with that. All right, so let's start making the UI. I like to start these series with a basic UI. So drag the canvas panel out. That lets you stack all your overlays and whatnot. Let's give us a big central window here. Call it item description overlay. Call it overlay. It's easy to find. Make it variable so we can make it appear and disappear. Set it to collapsed by default. Sorry, I had to take care of something real quick. Okay. Let's put the anchor top center. Put the X alignment half off. That way it sits in the middle when you put it 0 here. For the X size, I like to say 840 because I run a base 420. 420 height gives it a nice little look. Alright, let's start filling this in. Drag an image in there from the left, just drag it over. Set it to fill. Let's do blue today. Yeah, there we go. Here's a little trick. You can drag this up here, and now that is accessible to just about any widget. Great. All right, let's also put a text block in here. We'll leave that white since we're on the blue background. Set it to fill and auto wrap. Drops mad beats with very little effort. Okay. So that said, let's call this item description. Keep good spaces here. Description text. Make it variable so we can set it with logic. Oops. Save, always save. All right. For the next part, what I like to do, if I'm not making something fancy, is inventory scroll box overlay. Make it variable, but leave it open. You know what? Let's leave this visible as well, just for now. All right. Put this at a center anchor. 0.5 alignment. 0x. I like to keep it on even numbers just for order's sake. Size across, let's make it 600. Size vertical, let's make it 100. It's a little big, but no, it's a little small. We're putting a scroll box there. All right, all right. So, base 420. Okay. Now, in that overlay, we're going to want to put an actual scroll box. Here it is. Put that in there. Stretch it to fit. Doesn't need padding. Okay, let's call this so item inventory item scroll box. Don't believe it needs to be variable yet. All right, so in that scroll box, we put more overlays. Drag them on here onto the panel. Easiest way to do that. Let's call you first item overlay. These are all variable. Yeah, that'll do for now, I think. Fill it. In that first item overlay, we can have an image. This is just our background image, and look at this, we can just click right there and get our color back. Woo! Okay, and in here we will also want some text. Center it, center it. Oops. Center it. Great. Item 1 for now. This will be item 1 text. And we make it variable. Now, duplicate, 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 duplicate. Double click first, type second. And don't forget to change this to a 2. Third. Into 3. Fourth. Into 4. And just to round it out, 5th. And what do you know? 5. That's unnecessary, just leave it like that. Just know that if there were more than 5 items, it would scroll. Watch. In theory. What happened? No, that worked. Okay, watch. Check it. 6th item overlay. Item 6 text. And don't worry about them all saying item 1. We're going to change that in the blueprint. That's basically irrelevant. It's just a placeholder. So you've got your scroll box, scrolls if necessary, if there's enough things in it. Got your text block. It's variable. All of these are variables, so you can make them appear and disappear. Don't think we need any of that. Okay. So we have the basic inventory menu set up. Go ahead and save all. Now, we should probably go into the inventory structure. Now, what a structure does is it just holds a bunch of variables. It's like a basket of variables. It's something that I took a while to learn about, but it's really useful. So let's set the first one to rusted. I don't know. And there's only one rusted key, so we don't need to set that. I don't know if you need to click save game, but I always click save game. Why not, right? Let's see. Okay, magical tenderloin. Ooh, interesting. Let's make that an integer so we can have multiple. Don't know how many magical tenderloins exist in the world, but we'll find out, won't we? Alright, let's make this a feather. Who doesn't like feathers, right? This is a very special feather. There's only one, so it's a boolean. On or off is a boolean. Integer is a number. Whole number. No decimals. If you need a decimal, use a float. Okie dokie. Let's see, what else can we put? Oh, I don't know. Illuminating fan. Neat. Let's also put shiny pebble. Pebbles, spelled correctly, please. Integer, because we can have many shiny pebbles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what we got, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hello, Mr. 6. So, 6th tome. Neat. Okay, another boolean. All right, that is our inventory structure, and you're going to see soon why we made this. It's makes things a little easier later on. So next, we open up the backpack, or whatever the heck you called it. We might need begin play this time, so we're gonna leave it there. Not sure. Okay. First off, let's create some events. Custom event after right-clicking anywhere on the field. Add a custom event. Let's call it add a pebble. Right? Okay. We're going to want these for each of our items if we're actually making a game, but I'm just showing you how to do this, so I'm just going to add a couple. Add the key. Right. So, if you don't know events, the way they work is you can drag off of anything and start an event. So, add a pebble. And when the game starts playing, it will automatically run whatever this is. We don't want that, obviously, but we can keep that on hand. So, next, to actually add a pebble, let's make sure that this guy is automatically player 0. That way, anything we run in here, such as input E, board E. There it is. And if we release it, it adds a pebble. So, add a pebble. First we need to make a variable, and it needs to be the inventory structure. Whatever the heck you want to call it. Okay, so this is a little different than normal. What we do, click and search there, and click inventory. There it is, right there, blue one. All right, now this is where it gets fun. Check this. Set it. Right-click inventory structure on the pin and split that. Oh, look at that. So, let's, for procedural purposes, add pebbles. Let's change this back to an integer, please. And add key. This is a boolean. Ooh, it's almost 420. Anyways, so when we add the pebble, I'm doing that wrong again. So get the pebbles. Pull this out. Plus plus. Increment int. This brings up the integer by 1 every time it's run. So we bring this up. Bring this out just for alignment's sake. And shiny pebbles. So anytime we add a pebble, it adds 1 pebble and sets that in the structure. Super important there. Okay, let's go ahead and duplicate this. Click on it, press Control D. Whoop, this isn't as complex. This is a boolean, the key. And booleans, they are on and off. So tick rusted key when that happens. Okay. Here's a little trick that you might like. Sequencers. The sequencer node, you just drag this out, press S. See? Great. Control Z to undo that. This runs these pins in order. This seems like a sort of trivial thing because left to right is technically in order, but they will run over each other. If you need things to run this, then this, then this, sequencer. That's your friend. So, first we add a pebble. Then let's go ahead and print a string. This will give us a little readout up here in the corner when we test the game, and it'll say whatever we want it to here, including get pebbles. Run this to here, it'll automatically convert. Organize them how you like. And now, when we press E, if, don't forget to put your actor in the scene. If we test this, I like to test in a new pie window. When we press E, you'll see we have 1 shiny pebble, 2 shiny pebbles. Great, all right, awesome. Escape to get out of that. All right. So we now know that the basic functionality works. You have your variables, you break it from the struct, and you set them in the struct. Now, we need a way to save this information. Okay. You know, we probably need something to collect those. I'm not going to make a full character here. That'll be up to you, really. Blueprint class, actor, test. What's it? Open this guy up. Go to the event graph. Get rid of all this. We don't need it. And actually, we're going to bring this with Control C after highlighting. Click this one, press Control V. Confirm. This has an error because it doesn't know anything to reference. It doesn't have this function. It doesn't have this event. So, how do we reconcile that? Come over here. Custom event. Of course. call actors. Here's a step you're going to really appreciate. Every so often, you need to get actor of class for a reference or whatever, right? So let's find the backpack actor, right? Now we're asking this actor something. Within this actor, right here, I believe. No, not gonna let me do that. Okay, that's fine. Just delete that. Drag it out and add a pebble. Whoop. All right. Nope, that's not what we're doing. My bad. We are promoting this variable. We're calling it backpack reference. I was getting ahead of myself. Sorry, I do that. Okay, here's where we get tricky. Whoop. First, off the sequence, we want to get is valid. And we want the one with the question mark. Whoop, look at him. Okay. Is what valid? That's what we're asking, right? The backpack reference. So that means if the backpack reference is already in memory, it will go straight it will use the backpack reference again. Let's duplicate it with Control D after highlighting it. And if it's valid, we add a pebble. Just like that. Because it's already in memory. If it isn't valid, we make it in memory. Call actors. And I forgot about this. It's always good to do it in a sequence, especially if you're making references. So we call the actors. And then we go ahead and duplicate this with Control D. And add a pebble. Now, remove. Well, let's just stop it from firing. All right, so on the backpack, it does nothing. Matter of fact, if we test, E does nothing because test what's it is not in the scene, the level, whatever you want to call it. Let's go ahead and save that. And that. Okay, so now we know, and now we'll know. Press E and it does nothing because, of course, I didn't tell it to say anything, did I? This sequence is unnecessary. Let's destroy it. Bring this over here. That's unnecessary, because now we have this. Organize it how you like it. This is how I like it. Now add a pin. Then print string now. Let's see if that works. It doesn't. Ah, and do you know why? Because we didn't automatically consume the input. Let's try again, see if that worked. And there it is. We're only adding one now. Oh, of course. Ha ha. Do you see the problem, anyone? I see the problem. Let's move this. Let's run it as a sequence, of course. Now, let's go ahead and Control D. Don't worry about that. And now we're up. Let's try that again. Click in the field. E, 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 look at it go up. Neat. Okay. Now, remember, what we just accomplished here is we're now running that logic from a test what's it, which is completely unrelated to the actual backpack, but we're putting stuff in the backpack. We're not using any casts. We're not doing anything ridiculous. We're just doing our thing. So, we now have an inventory menu. We now have a backpack. We now have a test what's it. What we don't have, let's change this to I. Create widget. You know what? We're going to save that for the next video. So for now, I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope you've learned something, and I'm going to be working on getting the rest of this tutorial done. Peace out.